Good morning, Facebook. Once again, morning for me, night for you. California, I think, is 8 hours behind, and East Coast, Florida, represent. Jacksonville Beach, woohoo! Shout out to my peeps. It's 11 hours behind. Anywho, it's Thursday morning here in beautiful Pai, Thailand, and when I say beautiful, it is a gorgeous day here. This kind of weather is why people vacation here, move here, retire here, whatever it is, all us Fran do. But yeah, man, it is just a gorgeous day, clear skies. See, well, you can't really see the white Buddha from here. I have to show it down the street, but the mountain, real clear, very sunny, it's not hot at all. It's nice and cool. Just a gorgeous day, just really good day. Happy to be here. Happy in Pai. You see that in a lot of places, a lot of the stores around here. Happy in Pai. So, I talked about keeping the restaurant open, to pay the staff. I got 4 ladies, with families who work here, and I made the decision to put my own money into the shop and keep it open, even though the restaurant isn't, producing obviously enough right now with Corona. And, I wanted to talk a little bit about Corona. Most people won't talk about it in platforms like this, like guys with YouTube channels and blogs and stuff. And the reason, and I'm not judging them from this, is just saying this the way it is I guess they make money from advertisers. Obviously, I don't make any money from this. This Facebook Live, I don't make any money at all. My thing is, a lot of people, before I left America to come to Thailand, said, I want to do that one day, and I'm going to move there too, and I'm so jealous, and blah, blah, blah. So my thing is, hey, this is my life here. This is the reality here, good and bad. What I like about it, what I don't like about it. Here's what it is, it being life in another country than what you grew up in. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but I want to put it out there so people can see what the reality of living in another country is like than the one they grew up in. So just keep it real, good and bad. I put everything out there that, is going on. So I wanted to talk about Corona because, like I said, this isn't an advertised paid channel. And my whole thing is I got in a position to retire early and come here because I really didn't pay attention to what other people's opinions were. I formed my own. I got educated to the best of my ability on the issues, and then formed my own opinion and acted accordingly, and that served me very well. And I suggest that you do the same for yourself. Don't listen to me, don't listen to anybody. Read yourself, learn yourself, dig deep, and make your own decision that you're comfortable with, and then live with it. You make your own bed, you lie in it. We're all adults, that's the way it should go. So, with Corona, this little town I'm in called Pai, P-A-I, you can look it up, Pai, Thailand, is kind of remote. It's up on a mountain, 45 minutes flight, and the airport is shut down right now, and 3 hours drive from the second largest city in Thailand, which is called Chiang Mai. Bangkok number 1, which is a lot like New York City, and then Chiang Mai up north, 9 hours away from Bangkok, different world. Bangkok, Phuket, Pattaya are kind of known for the sex trade, and a lot of people who think Thailand think about the sex trade, but honestly, if you look at the numbers, there's 60 million people in Thailand, 300,000 are sex workers, and they're mostly located in those towns I just mentioned, Bangkok, Pattaya, or Pattaya, they call it here, and Phuket, P-H-U-K-E-T. So that's where the trade is based. That's where foreigners go, tourists, sex tourists. It's illegal here, but there are cops standing on the corners watching foreigners go in and pay money to get prostitutes. So No place is perfect. Like I said, when I decided to come here, I knew that this country had warts and had its own way of doing things, and I'm okay with that because I've traveled enough to know that no place is perfect, including the United States, where I was born and lived for 56 years. It's not perfect either. So, up here in the north, like I said, Chiang Mai, think of it like Chicago. It's a big city, relatively clean, not by Western standards, but by Thai standards. It's got the infrastructure with internet, hospitals, stores, restaurants, everything you could buy. So little tiny sleepy Pai, I don't know the population, I'll look it up, is kind of remote, up the mountain, up a hill. It's a very famous road that has 762 curves going up the mountain, some of them very steep. Guys who are into bikes, motorcycles, love that road. It's a real 4 cases of corona here, only. Oh, we're back. Sorry about that, internet. I'm sitting right next to the internet thing, so I don't know what happened there. Usually it's pretty good here in Thailand. Like I said, the infrastructure is actually pretty decent. So sorry about the blip. But when I say only 4 cases, really it's one incident. What happened is one gentleman from Pai was down in Bangkok, aka New York City of Thailand, where most of the cases in Thailand spread and happened because of the proximity. When you have a city with a lot of people close together, obviously the virus is going to spread faster there, like New York City, like Bangkok. So this gentleman from Pai, he has a shop up here, was down in Bangkok, got the disease, wasn't aware of it, of course, which is what happens with the corona, and then drove back up to Pai in his own private car. So number one, that was fortunate that he didn't take public transportation, a bus or a plane, and infect other people right then. So lucky there, as far as the disease spreading, he drove his own personal car. Came back up to Pai, went to his house, and his daughter and wife got infected by just in proximity, being close to him. And a friend of the family came over to visit him, to see him, oh, you were gone, you're in Bangkok, let me come over and say hi. Well, that friend caught it too. So 4 cases with 1 incident based on the big city, right? The guy was down in the big city, not little tiny sleepy Pai. Pai is a lot like Greenwich Village, Key West, San Francisco, kind of a hippie town, people very, enlightened and into nature and things like that. So kind of remote, as I said, 1 road in, 1 road out. So those 4 people went to the hospital. All of them survived. Now, thank Buddha, thank God, thank whoever you worship, or if you don't worship anybody, clap your hands. But those people survived, no problem. From my understanding, the man was middle-aged, his wife was middle-aged, the child, of course, was a teenager. So they all survived. What we know now, there's been enough cases, is people who have weak immune systems, which is the elderly or people who already have pre-existing conditions, of course, are the most vulnerable to this disease, just like they are to the flu. I know that's a trigger word. Corona's not the flu. No, I didn't say corona was the flu. I said people with weakened immune systems are more susceptible to it, and that's true. So those 4 people survived, which is great. They're back out in the population, no problem. Nobody else has caught it. We have not had 1 other case. We're on lockdown. We're on lockdown right now. There's no alcohol sales. There's nobody coming in. If I leave this little town and go down to the big city for supplies, I can't come back because I'm a Fran. Fran means foreigner. So local Thai people can go back and forth between Chiang Mai and supply runs. Is that fair? No. Do I like it? No. But it is what it is. So my whole thing about corona is it's crippling this restaurant. A lot of restaurants it's crippling the guest house. So we have no guests. We're not allowed to have guests and new guests in the hotel. It's caused a lot of restaurants to close their doors, and I don't know if they're going to reopen. So that's not a good thing. These are people's livelihoods. They employ people. Like I said, my 4 ladies, who come and work here every day, count on me. They counted on the old owner for 13 years, and they're counting on me to keep their families fed. So, that's definitely not a good thing to shut everything down. On the other hand, you have people saying, if we reopen, it's going to create the spread again. We're going to be back to late February, early March, where the thing was spreading like the friggin' plague, and, thousands of people a day were getting infected, and the numbers were geometrically rising. Nobody wants that. I don't want that. And so the government is erring on the side of caution. So there's the problem. Both sides have a valid argument. Both sides are right, if you will, that you don't want to unnecessarily expose people and jeopardize people. So every time I go out, I wear a mask. A musician came in the other day when we were open Monday, Tuesday, and called me out for not wearing a mask in the restaurant. And, I was a little perturbed at being called out, but you know what? He's right. He was right. I should be wearing a mask, especially in a restaurant where people come in, for takeout and all that. So, I have to get better. I'm upstairs right now in the apartment. I'm not down where other people are, but when I go down, I'll put my mask on, which I have been doing when I go out. I don't want to, I'm not going to get it, okay? And the reason I'm not going to get it, and this is another part of the whole conundrum that is Corona, there's 2 California doctors who recently put out a video, and it's been banned from YouTube and InfoWars and is playing it, which is, definitely a conservative, right-leaning platform. But what I've learned, like I said in the beginning of the video, is I look at the information myself and make my own judgment. I'm not going to let liberals and I'm not going to let conservatives convince me to go to their side, Cigarettes, right? Does everybody in the world have the right to smoke a cigarette if they want? Sure they do. But when they smoke at the table next to you and you're getting secondhand smoke and you don't smoke, that's not cool. That's an example right there. So these 2 doctors from California said, it's like a less than 1% infection rate. We need to open the state. And their perspective was, we're seeing a lot of domestic violence and child abuse and sexual misconduct. I know I read a story this morning about the Jaguars. I was a football fan. Jacksonville Jaguars was my team back in America. And Telvin Smith out of Florida State University, who had quit football a couple years ago to get his head right. I don't know if he had a dependency problem. He never really said alcohol, drugs. Not sure what the problem was, but Telvin quit football a couple years ago and, to get help. And this lockdown, I don't know if it's responsible or if he's just a troubled person, obviously, because he quit football. Quit his living, making a very good living, millions of dollars, but he was charged recently with sexually assaulting a minor. And once again, I just saw the story this morning when I woke up. Don't know the details, don't know what happened, but the 2 guys in California, the doctors, and here's the real problem. I think the true problem is the media. And you see a bunch of people online blaming the media. The mainstream media, this, all right, get past all the, arrow throwing for right now and the mob, chasing Frankenstein with their with their fire sticks. The media used to take their job seriously, and their job is to inform the people. Get news, not opinion, not spin, not slant, but news, and report it to people. So once again, we could read the paper back in the day, watch the internet now, get the facts and form our own opinion, once we were informed. The problem with the media right now, and it's been this way for some time, is they're more anxious, and this is both sides. This is Fox News as well as CNN. They are both more interested in putting forth their viewpoint. They're more interested in convincing you to think how they think, as opposed to just giving you the news and doing their job. I have a job. It's to feed people. I own a restaurant and a guest house, right? And then I'm going to own a barbecue place. That's my job. My job is not to make you eat what I want to eat. It's to feed you what you want to eat. I'm going to do my job. The media is much more concerned with influencing people, being social influencers, which is a thing now. And Walter Cronkite was not a social influencer. He was a newsman, and he reported the news, and reporters went out and dug the news up. So going way back, I'm old enough to remember this, Watergate, right, in the mid-70s, 74, Nixon. Nixon was a bad president. Nixon, committed crime. His people, his little group behind him committed crimes, and spying and stuff on the Democrats and what they were planning to do, breaking into hotels. There were two reporters from two different papers. I don't even think they worked at the same paper. Woodward and Bernstein. Look it up. If you're young and you have no idea what I'm talking about, Google Watergate, Google Woodward and Bernstein. So they made a movie about it. Dustin Hoffman played Bernstein and Robert Redford played Woodward. Well, thank you. Thank you for driving by, making so much noise. Anyway, there were two definitely opposed reporters. Woodward was kind of Ivy League, stiff upper lip, conservative guy. Bernstein was a radical liberal lefty. So when they reported these crimes, Bernstein loved it. Inside, he was jumping up and down. He was excited because Nixon was a Republican conservative son of a bitch. And by God, Bernstein was going to show the world what he already knew. Bad man, right? Personal. Woodward was like, no, I'm not against the Republicans. I voted Republican, but Nixon committed a crime. My job is to report this crime. And he did. That's kind of sort of what we need today more than ever, and we don't have. We have too much Bernstein and not enough Woodward, which is detached, non-political, non-spin, non-opinionated, non-point of view, right? So, thank you. You're so nice. Wow, sawadee. Facebook. Carrot juice. Yeah. So this is a hippie town, like I said. Key West, the village, San Fran, and I met this really cool guy, 71 years old, thin as a rail, rides his bike everywhere. He won't do the motorbike, right? He rides a bicycle bike, not a scooter like everybody else around here. No gas, no emissions for him. He's not leaving a carbon footprint. Brilliant guy from Berkeley, another hotbed of liberalisms for years and years and years. A lot of left-wing people from Berkeley. Very smart man, very intelligent man. Financially independent. I didn't pry. I didn't ask him how he got the money, but he's living here. He's been living here since 2003, 17 years in Thailand. And his job, and this is cool, I just got done bashing the media, the Western media, well, the Thai media too, they're even worse actually. The government controls the media here. So he's a healer. So if I had another rant, and I guess I'll do another rant another day, it's against doctors. Doctors in the West, and yes, they're miracle workers right now because they're fighting COVID on very little sleep and very little food. I get it. But pre-COVID and after COVID, their main job, and a lot of them, it's not even their fault, it's just sort of the way it is. Their main thing is to prescribe pills, drugs. So, once again, I only speak to what I know, firsthand knowledge. I had cancer, 2011, and their solution was to poison me with chemotherapy and kill my body. Now, fortunately, I am a frigging beast and the poison didn't kill me. I was 42 years old. I was very strong, healthy prior to the cancer. And so when they put that poison, literally put the poison in me, my hair fell out. Why? Because I was poisoning my body. My nails stopped growing. Why? Because they were poisoning my body. I stood up and blood gushed out of my nose. Why? Because they were poisoning my body. Why did they poison my body? Because it killed the cancer as well as killing the live cells. Sort of a barbaric way to do medicine. You watch Star Trek and they have these lasers and shit, just cut out the bad thing, and their answer when I had cancer was to poison me. And I remember at that time talking to a friend, and they're saying, "How's it going? How you doing, Greg?" And I went down to the cancer ward in Jacksonville, and I said, "I feel lucky. I feel blessed." And they're like, "What are you talking about? You have cancer." Well, I feel blessed because I'm 42 years old. I went through 2 rounds of chemo, and I was healed, and I was back in the pool. And instead of having a 50% chance of getting cancer again, by going through 2 rounds of chemo, 3 weeks, 1 week off, 3 weeks, 2 rounds of chemo, I wound up with a 2% chance of getting it again after 5 years, which that was back in 2011. So it's been way past 5 years. Now I'm back in the pool, and I have the same chance of getting cancer as y'all. Just normal human being. Anybody can get cancer. I have no greater chance, no less chance. So they treated me with poison. And once again, I'm alive, grateful, but is there a better way? That's a fair question to ask. Is there a better way than poisoning people to cure them from cancer? Is there a better way than prescribing pills? But fast forward, I am the Bacon King. You all saw me. I did a shirtless post the other day. Got a big old gut. I'm 280 pounds, which is huge on a 6'1" body. I need to lose about 80 pounds, and I have no doubt I will here for a lot of reasons I'll talk about in another video. It's just a healthier lifestyle here. The heat makes you not want to eat very much. I'm drinking carrot juice with ginger and kale every morning. But long story short, I had a heart attack due to my diet. Too much fattening food, pizza, barbecue. Love this stuff. Had 2 heart attacks, 2011, 2013. Got stents put in. And of course, my Western doctor, who, saved my life. He literally saved my life. I was having a heart attack. I had 90% blockage going into the main valve of my heart. Dr. D. Loretto, shout out to Dr. D, awesome guy. Jacksonville, Florida. They life flighted me from Baptist South in Mandarin to downtown, operated on me, put the stents in, and he immediately prescribed me medicine. So on the one hand, the man saved my life, and for that I'm eternally grateful, right? On the other, his training, the system, taught him that the best thing to do for me on an ongoing basis is to prescribe 3 medicines. So since 2011, I've been going down to the pharmacy and buying 3 medicines plus taking aspirin, which you get over the counter, blood thinner, so the blood doesn't clot up again. And once again, grateful. I don't want to come off as an ungrateful son of a bitch. Like, that man saved your life. Be grateful. All the doctors working hard on COVID. Yes, agree. 150,000% agree. Doctors are lifesavers. But when pharmacies sell their pills through doctors, and pharmaceutical reps come to doctors and give them samples to hand out, I see a lot of people associating that with the drug trade, where they give samples of crack out, get people hooked, and then they sell crack and make millions of dollars. Once again, I see both sides. I get it. It's true. I think Western doctors rely way too much on prescriptions, on pills, on shots, on Western medicine, that big pharma, companies that make billions of dollars a year off of selling medicine, their intent is not to get America healthy. Their intent is to make money. So once again, you open your eyes, you realize that. So here in this little town, getting back to Mr. Dean, a 71-year-old guy from Berkeley, very cool guy. He's a healer, a natural healer. And what's the difference between a natural healer and a doctor? Well, what he prescribed for me is herbs, plants, trees, grass. Go out and mow the lawn and eat it. So those of you who know me are laughing your ass off right now, because I am a barbecue eating, pizza eating, which is how I got to be 280 pounds, football player, special forces. I mean, I'm a fucking beast. And so for me to be eating plants and drinking carrot juice and kale, I got to be honest with you. This is, in the last week I've been drinking this stuff. That's the first time in my life. I'm 56 years old, and it's the first time in my life I've had carrot juice. Somehow I've gone through 56 years without having carrot juice and kale. So this guy Dean has prescribed this stuff for me, and it's working. I'm eating plants and herbs and drinking carrot juice and kale and ginger every morning. And guys, I feel the difference in my body immediately. I mean, right away. There's no leap of faith. There's no do this for 6 months and call me back. And the weird thing is he gave me the pills for free, and the carrots I got at the local market. Now, he said organic, right? Use organic products because the other stuff has pesticide on it. But here's the thing. Organic is very hard to find, even here, even in little hippie pie town. Organic is very hard to find. Getting carrots with the roots on them is very hard to find. So those of you who know me, I always told all my agents, do what you can do. Oh my goodness, internet problems today. I don't know why. Anyway, I always tell my agents, do what you can do. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. You can't always do everything you want to do or need to do. Do what you can do. So I am doing what I can do. I went to the market. I bought non-organic carrots without the roots. It's what I could do. It's what I could find. It's what I had. So once again, one of the main reasons I moved to Thailand, guys, is it's so cheap here. So I got a giant box of carrots. I don't know, 4 dozen carrots, 5 dozen carrots. I didn't count them. It's a big friggin' box of carrots for 220 baht. So that's like $6. I'm still drinking this every morning. The ladies downstairs, they're grateful that they're still employed and stuff. They love Mr. Greg. Mr. Greg's awesome because he dipped into his wallet to keep the place open. So they're like, oh, let me make juice for you. Let me make juice for you. Okay. I'm capable of putting a carrot inside a juice machine, but they make the juice for me. I drink it. I got my big jar, 16 ounces. I drink a pint of this stuff every morning. And if you research, once again, research. Don't trust me. Don't trust anybody. Research yourself. Don't be lazy. Do the work. It's Google. Click a few buttons, guys. Type it in. If you research carrots and kale and ginger, they all boost the immune system. So what I'm doing is supercharging my immune system by drinking this stuff every day. And once again, I got it from Mr. Dean, this gentle, kind, sweet old man who's a natural healer. That's my doctor in Pai. And I told him my goal was to get off the Western medicine. I told you I had the heart attacks in 11 and 13, and I've been on pills ever since, prescription pills. I want to get off them. That's my goal. I want to get healthy. I want to lose about 80 pounds, get down to around 200, and I want to get off the Western medicine because as much as I love my heart doctor back in Jacksonville who saved my life, he's an awesome dude, a miracle worker, I don't want to keep taking pills the rest of my life. And, I kept thinking, is there a better way with the cancer and the chemo? And according to Mr. Dean, who's 71 and rail thin and in great shape, there is a better way, and I'm following his regime. I'm listening to my doctor's orders, and I feel great. I feel better than I had in a long time. I'm detoxing. I'm cleaning my body out. Getting rid of all the bacon, all the pizza, all the barbecue. And it feels great, guys. I feel great. So my immune system, getting back to the two doctors. Okay, so you can see where a 56-year-old mind is, very scattered. I want to talk more about those two doctors from California. And I complained about the media, and here's why. These two guys got on the internet and they said they're doctors in California and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I have no way of knowing if they're even really doctors. It could just be two guys in their mom's basement. I don't know. How do I fact check that? So taking their word that they're doctors, I guess you could Google search their names or their clinic they talked about, whatever. Assuming they're right, then they are doctors. What they said is staying at home, because we're talking about corona today and the effects of corona and positives and negatives. Staying at home actually weakens your immune system, right? Because, and once again, I go by personal experience. When I grew up, 56 years old, born in 63, so from age, 5 years old till 12, 14, I drank out of our nasty, disgusting hose that we had for 10 years that used to sit out on the front lawn hooked up to the spigot. The edge of it was rusted from being out in the weather. I grew up in New Jersey. We had snow there. I mean, that thing was on the ground and rusty, and we had tap water coming through the municipal system, which had been around since the 50s, right? Cast iron and all that stuff. So no filtered water, no bottled water. When I was thirsty and I was hot in the summer, I would take the damn garden hose and drink right from that nasty, rusted, municipal water source and think nothing of it. And what I was doing by not washing my hands and by being a dirty kid was building my immune system. Later, when I was working for the government doing dirty deeds dirt cheap, I went to some horrible, horrible friggin' countries where, everybody says don't drink the water. Don't drink the water in Mexico. Don't drink the water in Honduras. Don't drink the water in Haiti. Well, Google Haiti and just look at some of the pictures of what it looks like in Haiti. Honduras, dirt roads, trash all over the place, dogs, flies, disease. These places are like nothing you've ever seen. Just Google Haiti, Google Honduras. It's another world, guys. It's not what you're used to in the States. That's one reason I was always happy to come back to the States, to be honest with you, after my little assignments were over. But the point is, I went to these countries with foreign bacteria, different germs than I was used to in America. One of my good friends, Williams, she's from Thailand. She lives in Jacksonville. She's married to Ace Williams, who's an investor, friend of mine. And she said she came to Thailand last year and she drank some bottled juice and she got sick. This is a lady who was born and lived in Thailand for 30 years, but having been in America for 15 years, she got sick when she came back to her native country and drank some juice here that wasn't filtered or cleaned or whatever, because it's foreign bacteria. The bacteria is foreign to her now. And my immune system, because I drank from the garden hose and did other things, obviously, that's just an example, but the point is, every time I put foreign germs into my body, it learned how to defend itself against foreign germs. So, obviously I am not a strong candidate to contract corona. And I think a lot of people are in the same boat. I think a lot of people are young, strong, healthy, with, beast immune systems, and they're never going to catch it. It's never going to manifest itself. Okay, so there's the one part of it. There's your people screaming, reopen and open up, and we have rights, which you do have rights. And like I said, Think about the domestic violence and the abuse happening now. That's not good. That's a side effect of this thing that I don't think people thought about, that we're starting to see now. The police are complaining that domestic violence is up because people are drinking. People are forced to stay home. It's a pressure cooker. I get it. Those are all valid arguments. The other side of the coin is, okay, so I've got this beast immune system. I've gone to all these crappy countries and not gotten sick. Time and time again, I've come home healthy. Live to tell the tale. So what? Do I have a responsibility not to go out, be around somebody who is infected without them knowing or me knowing, and then pass it on to somebody else? You know, that a lot of people argue that's as good as me having a gun in my hand. You know, if I pass it through me, through an infected person whose immune system isn't as strong as mine. Once again, valid point. At this point in my life, I don't want to kill anybody. I really don't. I've seen enough of that. I've done enough. No, I don't want to kill anybody. That's the answer. And I think that's the answer for everybody. I don't think anybody wants to kill anybody. But what's the answer, guys? What do you do? How do you solve this problem? How do you stop the domestic violence and abuse? How do you live? Because we're not living right now. Staying cooped up at home, reading and watching the internet and watching TV is not living. Going out, making a living, going to restaurants with friends, going to concerts, going to parties, that's living. We're not living right now. So how do we move forward and go on living while not killing our fellow man? Great question. So here in Little Pie, we are going with the same restrictions. Obviously, they're following the rules of Thailand. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, a lot of cases in Thailand are in Bangkok, Phuket, and Pattaya, which are the party towns, right? The sex tourist towns. That's where people hang out in bars and all the social life and all that. That's where most of the arrests have been too. There's been over 10,000 arrests of people breaking the curfew. They have a 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. curfew, and people are breaking it because they want to party. Woohoo! You're not going to take my rights away from me. Party! So I think that's stupid. I think that's ridiculous. But at what point does it end? We can't stay locked down forever. We gotta open back up and live and make a living and get people out into space, out into fresh air. So I think Pi is a great example because it's so small, and we only had those 4 cases I talked about early in this video. It's not a problem here. Honestly, it's not a problem. So here's the rub. Say Pi opens up May 1st, like they had planned to originally, and they still might. The minute that little one road that lets people in opens up, now we're subjecting the entire population to the carriers. Could be somebody still. Now, in Chiang Mai, the big city down the road, they haven't had a new case in over 20 days. That doesn't mean it's not there. It doesn't mean it's still not, inside people. That doesn't mean we can't get foreigners, from other countries who come to Pai. It's a big vacation town. It's a big tourist town. Think St. Augustine. A lot of tourists go there. So if you open up St. Augustine again, because it relies on tourists, which Pai does, now you get people coming in from Italy and Germany and Spain, where they're still fighting the virus. It's still a very live, active, thing. So how do you guard against your population getting sick from outsiders? I don't have the answer. All I know is this can't continue, right? We do need to open back up for the sake of the people. The banks here have blue tape down on the floor and put up plastic sheets with metal frames. So when you sit down with a banker, it's like a face shield. And for all I know, that's permanent. So that could be one answer, is to open up and just sort of take precautions. I mean, if it takes everybody wearing masks or gloves, although I don't, Okay, gloves I don't really get. It's an airborne thing. People touch things, okay, whatever. But I mean, the hand sanitizer, washing your hands, if that's what it takes to open back up, I think everybody's willing to do that. Everybody's willing to wear masks. Everybody's willing to wash their hands and use hand sanitizer. Once again, I talked yesterday about the human race being very adaptable, and we are. The bottom line is we'll do whatever we need to do to move forward, but I definitely think it's time to move forward, just more cautiously than we were before. And once again, avoiding germs is not the way to build your immune system. I believe those two guys. I don't care that it was on InfoWars and that's, a slanted media like I talked about before. Don't shoot the messenger. Those guys made a point, and I'm living proof of that. I don't know. I was a programmer, computer programmer for 13 years. I never once called in sick. Who do you know who hasn't called in sick in 13 years? That was me. I'm a freak, okay? I'm a beast. And I think it was because I was exposed to so many germs when I was a kid. My body developed a very strong, a very proactive immune system to this day. When I had the heart attacks in 2011 and 13, one of the things I started taking was 500 milligrams of vitamin C. If I start to get sick, if I start to get a runny nose or a cough, I double it and take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And within a day to 2 days, whatever was forming, flu, cold, pneumonia, bronchitis, goes away. Just by doubling the vitamin C that I take every day. Over-the-counter vitamin C, 500 milligrams. So, once again, I'm trying to be considerate of other people. I don't want anybody to die, but I do think we need to put all our energy, our efforts, and our minds into how we can safely reopen the economy. And it's not for the fat cats, the Warren Buffetts of the world, the Bill Gates of the world. They've got plenty of money. This thing doesn't hurt them at all. They could survive for 10 years without making another dime. That's not true for the people who work for me. That's not true for the people who work for the other restaurants here that have closed down. They need the money. So, once again, I'm putting my own money out just to pay these people. I can't do that forever. I know I can't. But, I'm good until the fall, maybe. So let's hope it opens up. Once again, not for the fat, rich people, but for the people who, live paycheck to paycheck, which, if I'm not mistaken, is most of America and, most of the world. That's it, guys. That's my take on Corona. We need to open it up. We need to find a way to do it safely so we don't put people at unnecessary risk. And whatever the rules are that, the powers that be put out, I'll follow them. It's killing me not to sell alcohol right now, but the law in Thailand is you can't sell alcohol. I'm not selling alcohol. It's killing me. It's freaking killing me. I got a cooler full of beer down there. Not doing it. Following the rules. Whatever the rules they put out, no problem. I'll follow the rules. Open up, and we'll follow the rules. Cool. I love you all. Take care, man.